Welcome back, guys, to a brand new video. Thank you for tuning in. As you can see next to me, this is the Arcdroid CNC that I've got. I purchased it quite a while ago and I've put it to use, and I've made a few videos out there. So if you'd like to click the link in the description and check those videos out, it would greatly help the channel. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to go from Inkscape to Fusion 360 and then over to the Arcdroid to successfully cut out the file. The reason I'm making this video is because when I did this artwork that I'm going to show you in the clips that are coming, I ran into a lot of issues and I went down the rabbit hole of about an hour of time trying to figure out why when I took an Inkscape SVG file over to Fusion 360, it didn't look the same as when I viewed the file on the desktop as the SVG. So I found out how to correctly do that. It's an easy process and I'm going to show you in this video how to do just that. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so this is the artwork that I'm creating for my nephew. So at this point I saved it as the SVG file with this application. Then I took the file over to Fusion 360. Alright, we're in Fusion 360. I went up to the sketch, selected the plane, and then from here I went to Insert, SVG, and at this point I just directed myself to where I'd saved the file. So here is the sign that I was talking about. Alright, so now that I've chucked that in there, you can see that the text has separated itself from the circle and lines that I put below it. I tested this with several other files and the result was just the same. So at this point I was really confused at what had happened, and I went back and forth, tried different SVG settings in the Inkscape, and then that's where I started to go through the internet and search forums and information and on Reddit, and then I came across this one bit of information that solved this puzzle once and for all. So now that we're back over in Inkscape, what we need to do differently is not to save the file as an SVG, but to actually export the file as a PNG file and then take it over to the Convertio website and convert the file to SVG. And what that does is it actually corrects the fonts that Fusion 360 didn't quite understand in the SVG data that was generated by the Inkscape program itself initially. So at this point, so what we do is we go up to the Inkscape file up there, we go to export, and after you've clicked export, you'll see down here that it is set as a PNG. So we just click export and it'll send it into the same folder that you had sent the previous file into, but it will be now a PNG file. All right, now we're over in Convertio. I'll link the website in the description below. You hit choose file, select the PNG file, select this section here and go down to vector, SVG, and convert. You convert the file from the PNG that you've changed it into. You then download after you've converted the file. Hit download, and now we'll jump back over into Fusion 360. Alright, we're back over in Fusion 360. We just go up to sketch, select the plane that we want, which is always top down. Go over to insert, SVG. You direct the computer to where you saved the file before off the Convertio website. We just move it into the center and we can see straight away that everything is populated properly. Everything is connected as it should be, not over to the side and all skew if. Press enter. Next step is to select it, finish sketch. We will select it again and then extrude. This is a tip that I strongly recommend to help ease the process when it comes to the post process where you're creating the cut file. I've got a video that I've created that explains why we do this and how this was a game changer for myself. So at this point I always just extrude it to 1mm to create a 3D object. Going any thicker isn't really necessary, so as you can see there it's 1mm thick, but it will just tell the program that we are keeping the 3D object and losing all the sections that are in between. So from this point we go to manufacture, we go to cutting, select 2D profile, select the unit itself there so it's highlighted, click OK, select the unit that you use, and at this point, so long as that it is lit up in green with the both ticks there for setup and your profile, it means that it is being successful in creating those cut paths. And as you can see, when you select that there, you can see all the cut paths and where it's going to move to from the first movement to the next, and then the last outer ring just there. So let's head back over into my workshop and cut this out. As you're watching this being cut out, you might ask yourself, why does it look different to what you saw in the previous clips? Well, I had a massive issue with the thickness of the outer ring, the underline of the birthday section, so I simplified it to just being happy 18th Corey. I still had problems doing that because some of the settings and the consumables failed. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll insert all the clips of the failures that I had along the way. It'll just show you what actually happens behind the scenes when trying to create these projects, or even just trying to create these projects in general when you're dealing with small text and small parts. So as you can see, guys, it's come out really nice. It's not perfect. You can see a little bit of bowing from the heat just there, and the letters are sort of like got a bit of character about them. There is a bit of dross on the back there. It'll come off quite easy. I'm not going to use a wire wheel because in my experience before in the past, sometimes it can grab those letters and then snap them off. So I'm just going to sand it, use some pliers, snap it off, and then sand it down and get it all looking really neat. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking there has to be a faster way of doing this, but trust me, I've been very impatient in the past, and I'm generally impatient when it comes to a lot of this sort of stuff, and I've used power tools before, but trust me, they will rip the letters off, and you will have to weld them back on, which isn't ideal. So there we have it, guys. It's come up really nice. I've painted that in satin black. So the next step is to create a wooden base for this to sit on in the center. I've just got to go searching through my stuff that's just behind the toolbox over there to find a suitable bit of wood for it. And then I'll cut it up and we'll sand it down, route the edges, and make this look like something that you could buy on Etsy. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so that's a wrap for today's video. This is my version of what I've seen on Etsy, and I made it myself using the Arcdroid just over there. So if you'd like to get one yourself and help the channel out, hit the link above for the affiliate code for Arcdroid CNC website. I think this has come out really good. I had a little bit of issues with the router on the piece just here, but we got through it in the end, and I think that that's come out awesome, and I hope that my nephew Corey is gonna love it. So remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and until next time, I'll see you in the next one.